まさか私がタイマニンと手を組むこととなるとはな。これも傭兵の宿命か。スピネルだ。
What's happening, fellas? It's your boy Hardcorn, and today we're going to look at ourselves at our brand new friend, Spinel. We're going to take a look at her and see if she's right for you and your gems in the first place. Make sure to like, comment, rate, favorite, and subscribe for more Taimanin content. Now let's get started. Spinel herself is a suppressed type demon character. She was introduced in Chapter 20 and makes her special debut as a playable as of now. She's the captain of her demon mercenary troop, though she really exists to turn cowards into courageous people with her buffs and overwhelm enemies with her insane skills and strength. So let's see what she looks like in terms of stats. I'll have these 75 and 87 stats up here, but we'll take a look at what she's got at 81. At 81, she's got 5530 HP, 4186 in attack, 4718 in defense, and 3836 in criticals. At 75, 81, and 87 at this point, she now has the highest base attack in the game. Ingrid has 4116, while Spinel has 4186. It barely beats her, but it's still enough in the first place. These are her costumes. You got the reindeer, red devil, bathrobe, the bunny girl, gym outfit, and her friend outfit, which is Lapis's. For Affinity, she has a maximum AP boost of 15. In terms of weapons, she has a greatsword. This is a separate weapon category than someone else like Murasaki. You have to go into the arena shop and get her own series of weapons to get her those, and also draw them for herself. In terms of SRs though, she's got the Gandvara, which is a critical rate boosting weapon, and the Photon Beat Saber, which is a human racial weapon. However, this doesn't go on the same sort of typing adventure that they usually do, because the Hindu weapons are the racial weapons most of the time, and the electronic weapons are the critical boosters. So they kind of messed up their weapon categories there. I don't know. Maybe they're trying something different. This is her Momochi weapon, and this is the package weapon you get for it. Obviously, the package weapon is still garbage regardless. I'll pop up there to show off the picture regarding her gacha weapon. Her gacha weapon gives a disabling effect with disarm and also raises her speed innately by 5 to 10%. Spinel has a system called Frenzy. Each time she uses a skill, she gains 1 stack of it. When she's in group content, 50% of the buff is passed on to the other members of the team. It maxes out at 10 stacks, which is a 30% attack up and 20% speed boost for Spinel, and then half of that is passed on to the rest of the team. This is her utility for the team itself, and that's honestly it for her. She has no slows, and her stuns are really only for the arena. Another thing to note is that Spinel has many skills that buff herself in attack and speed, so she's more or less a selfish attacker and built for AI usage in VR mode, where skill spam and aggressiveness meet together. Though if we're tripping on semantics, you can't really say she's totally selfish, because she's got that one team buff. Now let's take a look at the rest of what she's got. Spinel's basic attack string has super armor like the lovely Murasaki. Of course, it's only applied during the animation from beginning to end. Speed is somewhat counteractive since it speeds up the animation itself, meaning somewhat less armor over time, and Spinel is already so fast in the first place with her frenzy buffs. Now let's look at a demonic arm swing. This is her damage modifying Taimanin art, and it slightly increases the range and gives a huge damage boost. She's smacking harder and faster with all those frenzy stacks, which makes it really nice for mobbing and farming. Also to note, at this time, if you equip the Taimanin art and use invincibility at the same time, it's not going to work. You can still, invincibility will be active, and you'll keep attacking and swinging, but still taking damage. Now we move on to demonic arm detonate. Spinel is a double dash to lay down a Buster Wolf and deal enormous damage. I'm very biased against these types of attacks, since they hamper your escape on a timer since you have to double dash to do them. However, this gamble of a skill pays in spades, as it does immense damage and has knockback utility. It also buffs herself for even more damage on top of the frenzy. It's It's a really sick skill because of it. Now I move on to Spinning Slice, and Slice here is all style and minimal substance. You have to complete the basic attack chain in order to activate it. Then you're locked into a multi-hit flourish of a finish. It's very quick though. It's super high hit counts and very fast. It can be activated every 3.5 seconds in green. And it makes for a nice filler when you're waiting for other skills to come back online. If you got the 4th skill slot, it's worth considering just for the sword cooldown alone. Now over here with Piercing Thrust. The thrust itself is a very fast, spammable stab attack that gives buff and has arena utility. All her other skills are so grandiose and stylish, while this one is very grounded and simple. It's built to keep the pressure on and refresh the stacks. Boulder Quake is an AoE solution that has her summon the actual mineral Spinel from the ground to stab enemies. It's a fantastic skill. It's bufferable off a dodge or a recovery and has a decent cooldown. The activation only has one other move that conflicts with it, and honestly, this is the better of the two. It's a wide nuke in front of her that makes good filler, even colorless. Explosive Crystal Shards is her only extreme dodge. It allows you to gain frenzy stacks off of a dodge though. The shards damage is familiar damage, so unless you specifically built for that, you're not going to be doing much with it besides being a stack refresh every 7 seconds. Now with Dazzling Strike, you can actually use Spinning Slice and Strike in the same setup. Instead of having to do the whole combo, you can now do the finisher anytime in the combo with Dazzling. This is more or less for the arena, but can still find a home in all colors as it is a way for the AI to refresh stacks without having to do a combo. There's still better options out there though. Explosive Rampage is a highly spammable gap closer and AoE tool, not to mention it also has multiple hits in it. With such an incredibly low cooldown, it has a home in every build that doesn't use Detonate. Especially in green where you can have very high uptime on the speed boost. It's a great stack refreshing tool. Crystal Shard Burst is a big home run rock sling. It spawns several projectiles in front of her shotgun power, and it's also one of the few ways for her to truly debuff an enemy. Blue gives a huge 30% attack buff and red gives a 30% defense down. It's worth it in any color though, as it gives her a ranged option. It's got a wind up though, so you gotta account for that or else you're nearly waiting 10 seconds on your mistake. Ruby Reflector is a counterattack skill, just like Murasaki's and Kurenai's. However, Spinel's version is pure assault and offers none of the defensive or healing capabilities. You take full damage with this for a close quarters ranged option. It's the only utility for the 20% defense down that can be perpetually applied if you're actually getting her hit. It's refreshing that the actual counterattack window is only 2 seconds, so you're not standing there forever if you end up mistiming it. Now let's conclude on Spinel. Spinel herself is one of the OCs created for the game, and they've gone and made her a direct assault answer for VR. She's a selfish attacker who is made to lead the charge and bolster the team's speed and attack. Her many self-buffing options make her a nice AI character in VR because they just spam skills all the time. Playing Spinel alone means you're getting overwhelmed if the enemy has decent HP or has a working super armor bar, or there's just a ton of enemies in the first place. The lack of crowd control management means when she's doing solo content, she must overwhelm her enemies. In groups, someone else can solve that and she really does shine. She's really just middling though outside of VR content. Her buff carries her very hard, and you can have poor minimal gear and still do okay with her as she has many buffs to use alongside her perpetual frenzy. She ushers in a new generation of team effects, so whatever the future holds, she may pair well with others who have such effects. For the first foray, she's really just okay in general use and serviceable in VR when she has healing and crowd control components. You can wait on her and still be successful. Thanks for coming by, everybody, and learning about Spinel. Make sure you like, comment, rate, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.